Geoffrey, the 737 MAX has been cleared to fly, as I said, in North America and Brazil, and it's expected to gain approval in Europe this week. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to see this report, but given what we know about the problem that was with this MAX plane and what Boeing has done to make it airworthy, does this at all concern you?
Look, no, it doesn't concern me. We have to get this in perspective. The 737 MAX has been grounded for 20 months. And during that 20 months, there's been 391,000 engineering and software hours invested in redesigning vital components of the aircraft. There's been 1,840 simulator hours flight testing it. And then there's been actual 3,000 flight hours. And this review and redesign has involved 80 airlines, 12 regulators from around the world, the US Air Force and NASA. And probably the staunchest critic of the 737 certification process, if you like, was EASA, the European regulator. And the executive director, Patrick Kai, has said just recently that he is absolutely satisfied that the aeroplane, with all the modifications that have been made, is now perfectly safe to fly. So I don't have any issue with the 737 MAX at all. There's many who would argue that the 737 MAX was a safe aeroplane in the first place, and there should have been more emphasis and more thorough investigation into the training standards and the pilot competency of the two airlines involved. But leaving that aside, it's been the most exhaustive redesign of an aeroplane in aviation history. And the 737 is actually an incredibly safe aeroplane. And one of the things that in this report, it suggests that some of the problems of the 737 production may impact earlier models of the 737. Now, the 737 prior model to the MAX is the 737-600, 700, 800, and 900. They're flown incidentally by Turkish Airlines. They've got 112 of them. It's one of the safest aeroplanes in the world. It's safer than the 777. It's safer than the 747. It's safer than the Airbus A330. So the 737 has a very, very good safety record. So I think this criticism is unfair and needs to be, all these other factors need to be taken into account.
So given all that, I mean, it certainly sounds like Boeing and these regulators have done their due diligence, but of course this report is now making the news. I mean, is there anything more that Boeing or these, regulators can do to assure that this airline is safe?
Look, I don't think there's anything more that can be done. I mean, this plane's been grounded for 20 months. And that's an extraordinarily long time to ground an aircraft. The examination has been very, very thorough. Now, one of the other things about the MAX, one of the criticisms that have been levelled at it, was that the design was rushed and the production line was chaotic. Now, the reality is it took 6 years from launch to first delivery of the 737 MAX, which is the longest time for any derivative aeroplane. They built the 747 from scratch and delivered it in 4 years. This is a derivative aeroplane and it took 6 years. So the suggestion that the plane was rushed is simply not true. It makes good copy, it makes good headlines, but it's simply not true.
All right, certainly very reassuring to hear your thoughts, Geoffrey Thomas. Thank you.